So more people come on board because of that. But now you're capitalizing on the high uptake of mobile phones in Kenya. Guide us through this new initiative with the mobile app.
Thank you very much, George. So this is part of our ongoing interventions to improve our outreach to investors and also to provide financial education to all segments of the market. So what we've done at the NSE this time is to bring out a mobile app which has various features that can support an investor's decision making. Now, the features that we've actually been able now to bring on board are real-time, near-time market feeds. We have options for you to get educative content on it. We are able to provide you with corporate action information. And all these are just essential tools that will enable an investor really have very, very factual information to be able to make decisions. We've also been able to embed an ability for you to create a stop loss and a top cap position and triggers that can enable you make set prices for you when you want to enter and sell, and provide that level of high-level interaction with the market. And finally, on this, we also have a simulator as an additional component that will enable first-time investors and anybody who wishes to learn how to trade on virtual money before they can actually trade on the real market. So it's a very highly versatile, highly has a lot of capabilities, but it's all driven towards making the retail investor a very, very informed and very, very clear about all the decisions they make.
Right now, just to create context, so the app will relay real-time stock prices, meaning it has to be very light for it to efficiently work. But given what you've mentioned, and now that we are set to see additional products, how are you going to handle the efficiency bit? Data in itself is not the easiest or the most affordable in Kenya. So guide us through that.
So it doesn't give you real data. It gives you data with a latency of about 15 seconds. So we are not really in competition with our vendors. And then what essentially it does is that a lot of investors today are unable to make quick decisions because they do not know, they don't get information on a near real-time basis. So if I know I'm holding a certain stock at this price, I will be able to really, on the touch of a button, be able to see a feed that tells me probably the price has moved to this level, and hence I can trigger my broker to make a trade. And it's very, in terms of its availability, its environment sits on a very highly efficient and operational environment. It's quite light in terms of the programming ability. So in terms of the movement, it's able to do a lot.
Right. Let's move on now slightly to another conversation. Now, the NSE has received approval from Capital Markets Authority to pilot the derivatives market in the next 6 months. We talked about this last year. Finally, it's come to fruition, but you're focusing on equity indexes and selected single stock derivatives. So why this particular focus now? Is it the easiest to begin with?
I think that's really the answer. This is a very new product for markets, especially being the first market in East Africa to do it. We want to come up with a product that is pretty simple and is easy understandable for the market to interact with. So we have decided that we're going to start with products that the market will get a high level of acceptability, and hence that's why we're going for the index and the single stock product as really the demonstrative products for this for the market at the time, for the time being. As and when the market evolves and we're able to get a clear understanding, people know how to trade derivatives, then we'll look at how we can bring on board other products. But these are really, the rationale was really to get the quick products and the easier ones for people to understand.
Right now, let me just get it from your perspective, Geoffrey. So you have the NSE 2015-2019 strategic plan. 1 year to go. Of course, you're trying product innovation, you're trying to maintain your cap, and you're trying to ensure that people have the most investor wealth, or at least sustainability on that end. What's the toughest task for you, at least for the public to understand?
So our strategy, as you rightly put it, we are sort of in the penultimate year of it. And we had certain stretch objectives. I think the key one that we had looked at was how to increase the number of listings on the plan. It has not been easy. There's been a lot of moving parts in the last 3 years. What we're focusing now is on really a rapid listing strategy where we are talking to the private sector and the public sector to see within the next 2 years how we can get a lot of companies, both large corporates, public and SMEs, coming to the market. So we have a clear focus, and we're working with partners in the sector to see how that can be achieved. So for us, that's really the overarching objective that we want to close before we embark on the new plan.
In just under 20 seconds, Geoffrey, every time we speak, I have to ask you this question. Integration of the exchanges in the region, what's the process? What's the progress?
We've had a lot of conversations going on. The key one that has happened right now is that we have already sort of agreed on certain market directives, focusing on regulation, market standards, compliance rules that would enable a listing take place in either market without necessarily going through a very lengthy or sort of siloed process, and that's gone very well. Conversations around infrastructure are still ongoing, but it doesn't stop us from doing cross-border transactions. I think there's already a mechanism of doing that. I think the whole essence of having an integrated model through an infrastructure was to enhance my efficiency. But a lot of cross-border, cross-listing conversations are going on. So I think the journey is moving well. We are still very aspirational about getting infrastructure in place, and that should be coming as we go along.
NSE Chief Executive Geoffrey Odundo.